Arrests after violent protests explode in London over death of black man. A large group of angry demonstrators, many of whom with their faces covered, took over Kingsland Road in East London. The mob, which gathered in response to the death of Rashan Charles, blocked the busy road with wheelie bins and mattresses this afternoon. They set fire to the barricade, broke several shop windows and clashed with riot police sent to break up the demo. At least one vehicle has been smashed up in the chaos. Arrests were made, but the Metropolitan Police has not yet released the number. PA violence. Protesters clash with police after the death of Rashan Charles. PA flaming hell. Protesters have set fire to the barricade. Dalston right now. Prob stay away if you're near Pick. Twitter.com. 1FKLH9C3A5. Louise Donovan, at @LouiseDonovan_. July 28, 2017. A group of about 80 people gathered in the street yesterday afternoon, blocked the road and told drivers, pedestrians, motorcyclists and cyclists they could not get through. When police arrived, some of the gang pelted them with stones, bottles and now fireworks. Riot police arrived but were forced back. Videos posted on social media show a line of officers walking back in retreat as items were launched towards them. PA response. Police gathered in the East London Road to deal with rioters. PA lorry attack. Protesters stopped a lorry and got on its roof. A lorry drove through the barricade, hitting the wheelie bins lined up in its path. Protesters jumped on the vehicle, clinging to the window, while one sat on a bin which was pushed along by the lorry. A man clambered onto the roof of the vehicle, but it continued to drive with people throwing bottles at it. The man banged on top of the vehicle as it continued to drive, before stopping further down the road. He refused to come down from the roof, shouting at police, but did so a few minutes later as officers attempted to resolve the situation. The left side window of the lorry was shattered, along with part of the windscreen. The lorry was driven away shortly afterwards. As riot police moved towards the barricade, two men came towards them launching bottles. Fireworks were also launched at police. A stream of riot police vans then drove towards the barricade. Police pushed down the street in an attempt to break up the group. One group charged at police, launching scores of bottles, which smashed on the ground. Restaurants and bars pulled down their shutters, locking customers inside, amid angry scenes on the streets. Twitter clash. A masked protester confronts police over the death of Rashan Charles. Witness. Scotland Yard said a number of items including bottles were thrown at officers attending a planned protest from 3:40 p.m. on Friday, close to Middleton Road. Some motorists said they were cornered in their car by groups of protesters. Riot police arrived at the scene at about 6 p.m, but the fierce protest forced them back. Twitter barricade. The protesters had blocked Kingsland Road. Witnesses described seeing up to 15 riot vans full of officers arrive. Shattered glass littered the road, where a handful of protesters are holding Black Lives Matter placards. A police helicopter circled overhead. Hackney police complained their officers had suffered abuse and violence in the protest. Rashan Charles' family, who are cooperating with an IPCC investigation into Rashan's death, had earlier pleaded for calm. A tweet from Hackney police said, "Officers have been subjected to abuse and violence. Whatever the frustrations, this is patently not what the family of Rashan Charles wanted." Twitter attack. Hackney police tweeted a picture of a car damaged. A statement released by Rashan's family said, "We appreciate all support, but any hostile actions or other events, at this stage, that may risk detracting from our current cooperative engagement with the IPCC and Met Police is unwelcome. We are speaking and meeting directly with the independent investigators, allowing reasonable time for meaningful progress." Facebook rip, Russian Charles, who died after a police chase. Unverified footage on social media appeared to show at least one police officer attempting to restrain Mr. Charles on the floor of a shop in Kingsland Road, East London, last Saturday at 1:45 a.m. The 20-year-old later died in hospital. The IPCC said in a statement on Friday, "We understand the concerns raised following Rashan's death. We will independently examine the circumstances of this incident, we will follow the evidence, we will consider whether there is an indication there may have been misconduct or criminality, and we will seek to answer the questions that Rashan's family and the community of Hackney understandably have." PA protest. A large group of demonstrators took over Kingsland Road. The violent mob appeared to have been dispersed shortly after 11 p.m., but shattered glass littered the streets and a helicopter continued to circle overhead. Rashan's dad ESA will give a joint statement with Gonario da Costa, Edson da Costa's father, outside Stoke Newington police station later today. Edson died on June 21, 6 days after he was detained by cops during a traffic stop. Campaigners claim his neck was broken and that he was brutally beaten after the car was stopped in Beckton, also in East London.